Hello from David and me, and welcome to the programme.
First tonight, 3 families are in mourning after a grim 24 hours for one of the region's own regiments fighting on the front line in Afghanistan.
News came early this morning that 2 soldiers from the 1st Battalion of the Royal Anglians had been blown up and killed.
And this afternoon, the soldier who died in hospital on Monday was named. He was Captain Martin Driver, who was 31 and had recently got engaged. Our correspondent Emma Baker joins us now from the regiment's headquarters in Bury St Edmunds. Emma.
Yes, good evening. It's been a very difficult day for people here in Bury St Edmunds at the Royal Anglian Regiment after the news that they've lost 3 soldiers in as many days. In the last few minutes, the Ministry of Defence has named one of those soldiers as Captain Martin Driver, a 31-year-old who leaves behind a fiancé and a twin brother. In the last few minutes, his family have paid tribute to him. They say they are heartbroken by the tragic loss of our beloved Martin. An all-too-familiar sign of mourning in Bury St Edmunds today. Mourning the loss of 3 soldiers in the space of just 24 hours. All were members of the Vikings, the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, all serving in Afghanistan. For friends and family back home, it's a painful reminder of the dangers their loved ones are facing.
It's every army family's nightmare. It's the worst nightmare that they get the knock on the door and the news that their soldier's been killed. They feel very much for them, but we've kept together and keep in contact with one another. We look out for one another. It's a very strong family unit.
The soldier who died on Monday in a military hospital in Birmingham was Captain Martin Driver. He had been injured in a bomb blast a month ago. Captain Driver was 31 and originally from Barnsley in Yorkshire. 2 more Royal Anglians were killed yesterday afternoon by a single roadside bomb. Since their first tour of duty in 2002, the 1st Battalion of the Royal Anglians have paid a heavy price in Afghanistan. The latest 3 deaths brings the number who won't be returning home to 15. 9 of those men died during the last tour of duty in 2007. 5 have been killed in the 6 months of their current tour. One man who has first-hand experience of the war in Afghanistan is Kevin McHenry. Now a pub landlord in Horsted in Suffolk, he served with the 1st Battalion for 17 years and spent 6 months in Afghanistan in 2002.
To get up day in, day out and just go out there, I don't know how they cope, to be honest. I've felt at risk sometimes when I was in Belfast and places like that, and you sometimes get a feeling that something's going to go wrong today, but for day in, day out, the way they carry on, it's just, I take my hat off to them. It's amazing.
Today, politicians remembered this week's casualties.
Their bravery and the sacrifice they have made for the future of Afghanistan and for the security of the British people will not be forgotten.
All 3 of this week's casualties had been serving in the Musa Qala district. Today, the Ministry of Defence released photos of schools in the area that have reopened thanks to the efforts of the Royal Anglians and other troops. But it comes as an increasing number of people back home are questioning the role of British forces in Afghanistan.
I just think it's so sad that so many of our soldiers are dying. It's so sad. All those families, the children who don't have fathers anymore, and I just don't think they should be there.
My feelings are that we support the boys out there with what they're doing.
I mean, I think actually we should withdraw our troops, to be honestly. I think we exaggerate the risks and the threats, and by being present we're just adding to that.
These latest deaths bring the number of British military to lose their lives in Afghanistan since 2001 to 275. But for many here in this town, their thoughts will simply be with the families of this week's fallen.
Emma, a truly tragic day today. I understand that you've got details, though, of some of the tributes that have been paid to Captain Driver.
Yes, well, in the last few minutes we have received a tribute from the family of Captain Martin Driver. They describe him as a caring young man who always put his family first. He touched the lives of all of those who had the privilege to know him, and he always wanted to be a soldier, and he died doing the job he loved. His legacy shall never be forgotten, they say. They are, of course, moving words from a family clearly in grief tonight, and we will no doubt hear more touching tributes from other families tomorrow as we are expected to learn the names of the other 2 soldiers who died yesterday afternoon.
Emma Baker at Regimental Headquarters, thank you very much indeed. Next tonight, it's the exclusive public school that's educated the likes of Richard Branson, David Niven and Prince Harry's girlfriend. But now it's embroiled in a scandal involving a kitchen porter, poison and carrot soup.
Yes, parents who pay £27,000 a year to send their children to Stowe School in Buckinghamshire have today been told of an alleged plot to poison them.
A man's been arrested and the school has reassured shocked parents that the plan was uncovered before any harm was done. Our correspondent Neil Bradford joins us live now from Stowe. Neil, an extraordinary story.
It certainly is. At more than £9,000 a term, public schools don't get much grander than this. Many of the pupils here are the children of some very high-profile parents. Now, last Thursday, when the boarders prepared to sit down for their evening meal, catering staff became suspicious that some soup had been tampered with. Police now say they believe that some form of household product had been added. Today, at a news conference, more details emerged about the story involving the public school, poisoned soup and the police. On the menu today, tomato soup. There is no concern it or any of the other food being served here has been tampered with. But last Thursday, catering staff noticed something suspicious about a batch of carrot and coriander soup being prepared for the evening meal. Today, in a room usually reserved for music recitals, there was a very different kind of performance. The school's head teacher taking the unusual step of staging a news conference with local police.
The 58-year-old male, employed as a kitchen porter, was immediately suspended under the school's disciplinary procedures, pending a full inquiry. He has been instructed that under no circumstances may he enter the school premises. In view of the seriousness of this incident, the school referred the matter to the police and is now helping the police in every way possible.
Detectives say it's thought the soup was contaminated with a household cleaning product.
We've got ongoing forensic inquiries to establish exactly what was used in the incident, but I can stress it's believed to be a household product at the moment. I've got to stress as well, it's not believed to be terrorism related at the moment, and it is a one-off isolated incident.
More than 600 students take their evening meal in these opulent surroundings every single night, but the contaminated soup never made it to the dining room. It didn't even leave the kitchen.
Before any meal is taken up from the kitchens to be served, the food is tested, and it was during the routine sampling that one of the duty chefs discovered that there was something acrid in the smell that was being given off by this particular batch of soup.
Police say a 58-year-old man was arrested at his home near Brackley in Northamptonshire following the incident. He's due to answer bail at the end of the month. With terrorism ruled out, staff say they are unsure of any motive. They're now busy reassuring parents that there was never any risk to their students. Neil Bradford, Anglia News, Stowe School in Buckinghamshire.
Now, unemployment has risen slightly in our region despite falling across the country as a whole. The number of people looking for work in the east of England was up by around 0.5% in the 3 months to January to 196,000. That means that 6.6% of people are out of work compared with 7.8% nationwide.